Let's look into WMI alerts. For example, in our case, we have three databases that are mirrored. Okay, application is using three databases. Okay, and if one of the database fail over to the mirror server and other two databases remain on the principal server, in that case, you need to quickly roll it back to the principal server. Okay, let us take that example and do it in a WMI alert. Right now we are going to create WMI alert, which is going to identify the event, the failover event in the event viewer, and if there is a mirror state change, role change, then it is going to fail over any database that failed over to the mirror server. Okay. So here you need to select WMI event alert. From SQL Server, we can query the WMI namespaces. We can query like a SQL query. For example, in this case, to identify the failover, we are going to use database mirroring state change event. Okay, and before that, before using that status, database mirroring state change event, we need to check the database mirroring state change event equal to 7 or 8. 7 means manual failover and 8 means automatic failover. If any database manually failed over or automatically failed over to the mirror server, then using WMI namespace event, we can identify that and we can fire a job and we can execute some script, failover script, to fail it back again to the original principal server. Okay. We can query the namespace event, WMA namespace events like a SQL query. Okay, I'm going to show you that in a moment. And before that, we need to enable the service broker on all the databases. Okay, just for these two databases, let me for TempDB and MSDB, but we need to enable for the mirror database, the service broker, without which a WMI event cannot be invoked. Okay, so to enable the service broker, okay, it looks like we need to stop the SQL Server agent. Okay, let's stop the database service and re-execute the queries. It looks like it is hanging. I thought restarting the agent service would execute that, but that's not the case. We need to restart the database service. I just restarted the principal. Now I'm going to restart the mirror. Now I have restarted both the instance. Now I'm going to execute this query against the principal server. Cannot create new service broker in mirror database. Okay, it looks like we cannot create service broker, enable service broker. Let us try to do that for master and let us see if that works. Okay. Okay, it looks like we have to break the mirroring and enable the service broker. Okay, if that is the case, let's do that. We have no other option. Okay, so I have removed the mirroring for all three databases. Okay, done. So now we have all three are enabled. Okay, so let us set the database mirroring again. We have again set up the database mirroring for this. Now let us set up the WMI alert. Here seven means automatic failover and 8 means manual failover. So we are going to check for both type of failover for all the database, for any database for that matter. Okay, but if you are specifically looking for a particular database, then you need to say where database name equal to database name. Okay, so now I'm going to create WMI alert, and in response I can execute a script. Let us set up a job, and this job is going to fail back the database to the original principal server SQL INST1. If a database by mistake failed over, then again this alert will kick the database back to the server. Okay, Okay, so in this, okay, so we are failing over back to the SQL INST1. Let us parse it. Now schedule, there is no schedule, it is going to automatically kicked off by alert notification to the DBA when job fails. Let us say when job completes, targets local server. Okay, so we have created job that will just fail over this database in case if INST2 becomes mirror server. Sorry, the new principal server. Okay, or we can also notify the operator here. Database failed over, automatic job, again roll back the services to INST1. This is the WMI alert we are going to look into. So now we have successfully created the alert. Let us actually we should be supposed to be creating the alert in the mirror server. By mistake we created this in the principal server because we wanted to execute the job on the mirror server. So now I'm going to connect to the mirror server and execute the script there. Okay, so it says the job is not there, so we need to create the job first. So we created the job. Okay, it looks like there is no operator on this. We have to enable the database mail for the SQL Server agent service, without which we cannot send emails. Okay, we received the test mail. So email is working on the mirror server. If I execute the job again, it should create. Okay, so now we need to find the job ID on the mirror server. Okay, we created the alert on mirror server because we need the alert on the job to be on the mirror server. Let's go to alerts. We have the alert, we have the operator, and we have the force failover job. Okay, we have set up all the things, and this is not required. Let us delete this alert on the principal server. Now let's fail over this database. When we fail over again, this alert should kick off this job, and this job will do a manual failover of this database again back to the original principal server. So basically the data, when I fail over again, the database should come back to the server. Okay, so this is the only database that is mirrored right now. The other two HP and HS is not mirrored. Okay, let's fail over. So now the database is failed over. Okay, you can see again this has become principal because here the alert has been raised and this alert kicked off this job, and this job again failed this database back to the preferred instance. This is the preferred instance, let us say, and we have the database as a principal. Okay, in some cases database for some reason it might fail over to the mirror server, and we have the other databases still remaining on the principal server, okay, the original principal server. In that case we might want to fail over back to the original principal server. So this is how we can use WMI alert and query the namespace events and get the status of the database mirroring, and fail over back to the original server, or execute some scripts. Okay, this is one such example of WMI.